Leandra at the Lexington facility for new Vocations Racehorse adoption program. Today for the Trainer Tip Tuesday, we're going to do some round pen work. KHATTAF over there is a 2017 horse. He's a trainee and he's actually still a stallion. He just came to our program, and on a very rare occasion we'll get horses who are still intact. So they're still technically colts versus being a gelding. And he will in fact be gelded before he is available for adoption. But in the meantime, it's important, I think, to make a good connection with them before they go through that procedure, because they're going to be going through a short recovery, but nonetheless it helps to create a little bit of a bond with them before that happens, so that you're not trying to connect with them while they're not feeling at their best. So when a horse comes into our program, they generally will start in round pen turnout to let them get used to our schedule and to help them get used to just being turned out in a small enough space where they can't get running and they can't really hurt themselves the way that they might if we just sort of set them loose in a bigger field. So this is a little bit of an adjustment pen. So he's getting turned out here for half the day, and so sometimes we'll take this opportunity to work with them and use the round pens as exercising tools as well. So for today, for our trainer tip, I wanted to talk about working with horses in the round pen. And there are a lot of different ways you can go about it. We're just going to go over some of the basic skills. Some of the tools that you might find useful are a lunging whip. It's not for use in contact, it's just as an encouragement tool, as a driving tool to get them moving. And then I like to use a long rope lunge line. This is sort of like a yacht rope. It's a heavier weight. You can use a halter in addition to the lunge line, or you can alternatively just use a longer lead rope. You could use a different type of halter rather than a rope halter. So these are just examples. I'm actually going to disconnect the halter component of it, and we'll just use the line. I might use this instead, but we're kind of just going to get a gauge on what he's like to move around. So that's what I'll do first. I'll just move him around with my body language, and with the lunge whip, we're just going to encourage him to move at liberty, and then we'll sort of reconvene and talk about how we can get him to work on trying to foster a little bit of a connection, at least one in which he is listening to what I'm asking him to do. As you might be able to tell, he is a little distractible, and that is only going to be amplified by the fact that he is still intact. His focus is wandering. It's a new place, but he also has different things on his mind as well. So let's just get him moving. generally most of the time. It's just sort of as a tool to get focus, but also, like I said, you can see there are times when I'm just trying to increase my wingspan to try to direct him. So some things that you can keep an eye out for when you're just starting them out moving around are their quality of movement, any sort of soundness things that might come up. If you can tell that they're one directional, they have an abnormality to their gaits, you can pay attention to that. You can see how well they can focus and what sort of sensitivity they have to cues. So if I just lifted up the whip, you can see he really steps off into a higher energy level quickly. So he's a little bit more sensitive, and that can be good as far as sport horse prospects. You want a sensitive horse, just you don't want one who's overly sensitive or overreactive. So really great so far. What we can tell also is that KHATTAF likes to go to the left more than going to the right, which many people understand is typical of a lot of ex-racehorses, given that most of their muscle development will be in that direction. So those are some things to note. Also, when I disengaged, so when I flipped the whip to be behind my back and just slowed my body motion, then he slowed down and he actually turned towards me, which tells me he's starting to listen to what I'm asking, and he is sort of respecting me as a direction giver. So that's a great place to start. When you're doing stuff in the round pen, it's really, really important to have a confident body posture. If you've watched past videos, you've probably seen that I was talking about your position when you're wanting to place yourself as sort of like a pie wedge, where you have your driving arm and your leading arm and you're kind of in the middle. When you're doing work at Liberty, you can focus on trying to just keep with their point of hip, so that you're in a driving motion, and then ideally if you step in front of their shoulder, then you can ask them to sort of slow, go into a decreasing energy level. But it is important that you are establishing yourself as a leader, and in order to do that, you need to be confident in your body posture and know how to direct them while knowing when to let off and when to push a little bit more. So next up with this, I'm going to have a little more direct asks, and I'll demonstrate that, and then maybe we'll talk about it after. It might make a little more sense. So I'm going to do that. Of a game you can play, but what I'm trying to do is trying to control his direction, and you can tell he is responding really well to when I ask him to change. So what's key with establishing yourself as a leader is you'll observe, if you watch horses in turnout or horses in the wild, that the horse who can control the horse's movement is generally the higher horse in that hierarchy. respecting me in the ask for him to change direction. So again, that's a really good thing to look for. So I'm gonna switch it up a little bit now and ask him for a little bit more and see where we're at. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna observe what he does when I change what I'm doing. So I can clearly control the way that he's going, but now I want to see how much he's paying attention to where I'm going, see how he's thinking of me again as a leader role, not just someone who's pushing directional, but hopefully one that he will learn to follow or pay attention to. So he's stopped his movement. He's not necessarily coming towards me, but he's paid attention to the fact that I've stopped. horses get it right away, but it's important, again, not to have a strict agenda. Even since the first time we just sent him out and let him do his own thing, he already has a heck of a lot more focus. He's looking right towards us. Intentionally go directly opposite from them and see what their reaction is, because this isn't about just making them connect with you like that. It's about observing the horse, their natural reactions, and how they respond to different stimulus. And he's a little bit nervous, so our main goal right now is going to try to bring him down to a more relaxed state and have him connect, not just so that I can tell him what to do, but so that we hopefully bring a little bit more comfort and routine to the way that he is adjusted. Which is why a lot of times if he walks off, I'll walk right next to his shoulder. Like, say, just if you turn around, you can see the two horses right there, Indian Companion and Predator. They're not always walking identically. You'll have one horse who leads and one who follows, and a lot of times they'll be next to each other. So again, there's no strict way this has to happen, but it's the same sort of relationship where it's like a dance, and you kind of want to be able to engage them in that dance. So you have to establish yourself as a partner, but there are little bits and pieces that are going to help it along the way. This really high energy moment where he did this little canter step, circled back around, and then came right next to me. So I am at least a point of a little bit of comfort where if he's really excited, he still comes back to me. So that's a really great step. Do we have any questions?
We have one question, and it is, do you find these guys do well in turnout with others after being gelded?
Yes. Again, everything is on an individual basis. Some are really easy to transition to turnout with others, and other horses take a little bit more time. We always recommend that when a horse is freshly gelded and they're going into a turnout with another horse, that they go into a turnout that's more controlled, so you can keep an eye on them if anything goes wrong, but also partner them with a horse who is very established as the patriarch. It is really important that the horse who's freshly gelded does not feel that they can climb up that social rank to number one right away, because you have a lot of the hormones and the instincts saying, you know, the horse wants to achieve that point of top alpha dog. So to have a horse who's older and who knows their role and is not going to be threatened, and who also can disengage and not get into any conflict is super, super important. So for us here, we have a horse, Ranger, who's our babysitter, and he very much knows his role. He's a lot older. He really doesn't engage with the babies when they're rambunctious, and so he makes for a really suitable buddy for these horses when they're getting used to those situations. A lot of times other young geldings are not good matches for them at first, at least for the first couple weeks or months, because they like to get worked up too. They like to get rowdy, they like to play, and playing can easily digress to a point where the horses are not at the same level of understanding of what's happening, and they can turn out into a rougher situation where one is trying to very much dominate the other. So yes, obviously it's different for different individuals, and it definitely really can be done. It's just a matter of time and the right situation. Any other questions? Well, I think that's it for today. We've made a lot of progress with KHATTAF already. And again, it's really important that you don't see this as just a means to an end, but everything we learned about him along the way is already some stuff that I'm categorizing in my head that we can work with him on once he continues in training with us. So things like that he's stronger on his left than his right, that he is sensitive but willing to learn, that he is a nice mover. All of those things are going to factor into his training plan, which we try to always custom tailor to each horse. So I'd say this is a really good first start for KHATTAF, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future. So he'll continue to adjust here and just get used to our schedule. It's the first time he's been out in the round pen, so I'd say he's doing pretty darn well. And thank you so much for joining us. Please tune in again tomorrow. We have our virtual tour at 1 p.m. and hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of KHATTAF soon. But I hope you're enjoying your day, and we'll see you again later.